to a taxi and I showed him the address and I got in a yellow cab, you know, the yellow taxis, and they drove me to this petrol station. He's like, okay, you need to get out. I was like, what? And he said,
know that whenever you were around 19, you moved to New York.
Yeah.
What did you move there for, like a job or like?
Yeah, it was an internship.
Nice.
So I was like, yeah, just an intern.
Cool.
And I lived in this really small town, lived with my parents and just knowing everything. A really small fishing town in the northwest of Cumbria. But I moved from there to like Brooklyn. And that was the first time I kind of moved out, and I was like,
Yeah.
Did you travel anywhere before that?
No.
Were you?
So literally went from there to it's crazy.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was like in the day when like people didn't really do emails, but like emails existed, and apparently they'd sent me an email saying we'll collect you from the airport, but I didn't get it or I didn't check my emails. So I turned up in New York and this airport was like, okay, how do I get to like where I am? So I'm like, I was at JFK airport. I was like, so like I went to a taxi and I showed him the address and I got in a yellow cab, you know, the yellow taxis, and they drove me to this petrol station. He's like, okay, you need to get out. I was like, what? And he said, I can't take you where you're going because we won't drive our taxis into that area. And I was like, why? And he said, we're just a Target. We've got money. We carry money. We're a yellow cab. You need to go in an unmarked taxi. And I was like, crap. So he went and then he didn't have a mobile phone. He went into the petrol station. He called a friend who owned a taxi company that wasn't a marked taxi. So he called them and he was like, just wait here. And I was like, I'm in New York. Oh my gosh, I'm here. I have no idea where I'm at. And why is this guy dropping me? Why can't we drive into the place where I'm supposed to be going? I'm going to be living for the next 4 months. So I waited, and then this like red car rocks up and this random guy, and he's like, okay, my mate's called me. Apparently you want to go to this address. I was like, yeah. I said, okay, get in. And I honestly was like, this guy's definitely got a gun in the glove compartment. Like it's definitely like, this is not going to end well. So I've got my rucksack and I'm in there. And he drove me into Brooklyn, into Bushwick, which...
I feel like I've heard of that. Yeah.
It's quite hipster now, quite cool, but at the time it wasn't. So when I turned up, I was in the car, and as we were about to turn around to park to where he dropped me off, there was two gangs, and they were fighting. And the two leaders of the gang, one had a baseball bat, and the other had a sword. So they're like literally at each other. And I was like, oh, crap, like what have I done? Where am I? So he dropped me off.
I wouldn't be able to leave the house.
And I was banging on the door. I was like, let me in. And only the cook was in because the guys had gone out to get me at the airport because I hadn't got the email. So I was in there like absolutely bricking it and crapping myself thinking, what have I done? And every night there'd be gunshots in the area, and so you'd hear people shooting and all that.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
So that was day one. And then, so that was the 1st of September 2001. And then obviously the 11th of September. So I was there for 10 days. And then the world changed, right? It's like,
oh my God,
crazy.
Oh my God. And then when 9/11 happened, where were you and how?
So the freaky, scary thing is that I try not to think too much about was that it was the first official day of my internship. So we were in our offices, and what they did the year before was on the first day of their internship, they took the interns to the top of the Twin Towers to look at New York and to see where you've moved to, basically. So that was the tradition. The first thing in the morning, you'd go up, you'd be on the towers, and they'd be like, there's Manhattan, there's this, there's that. And that's where you're, to give you a head map of the place. They decided not to on that day. So they were like, let's just stay in the offices, let's just stay in your departments. And we'll maybe do that another time.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
So I know.
That's
so potentially, if they'd have followed the pattern of the previous year, the first day of the internship was usually spent on top of the Twin Towers. So I was glad they didn't do that, obviously.
I bet.
Yeah.
But it was freaky.
That's
awful.
like fate. Like if you fate or like, that's insane. Like, oh my God. Yeah. So
we're in the office and just getting to know the team, and it's all on video. Actually, I'll get you the audio of it because it was a documentary that was made for, I think Channel 5 used it in the end. But it shows you them bursting through the door, and they was like, guys, if you're praying, can you pray? Because a plane's just hit the one of the Twin Towers. And we're like, what? So then we ran up onto the roof and climbed on our roof, and we just literally caught in this moment of like one of the towers just falling down. And I don't know whether I blanked it out but then obviously the second plane hit. But there was smoke, and I don't know whether I physically saw the second plane hit on the time thing, but I was watching them both just crumble in front of me, and all the smoke and everything. And there's this weird moment where the cameraman, who was from London making this documentary, he was just like, "Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God." And he's just saying this over and over into the camera. Because he's filming it. He's filming the towers falling down from our roof as we're just looking at it. And there's this weird moment where I was like, oh, this is weird. We're in the middle of it. We're looking at that. And then I was caught in between two worlds because I was on my roof there. That was happening there. But this side of me was just, I heard someone whistling. I was like, what they're doing? And so I kind of went to the edge of the roof and looked down. And it was a guy delivering loaves of bread to a bread shop, totally oblivious that on the other side of there, there's people dying every second.
Oh my God.
And he's just delivering his bread and he's whistling this tune. It was almost quite harrowing and quite like apocalyptic, quite like you were caught in a movie. But I was in between two worlds. I was in between a world of people dying and then a world of a guy just delivering his bread, whistling away, like oblivious. Totally. So that happened.
That's so traumatizing.
And then that was September the 11th. And then September the 12th, we went to Ground Zero. And we're kind of just there and everything's covered in ash. Yeah. All the windows of the shops, just horrific. But it was like, and it's not enough to say it was like being in a movie, but it's the closest thing, like an apocalyptic movie, like this is the end of the world sort of thing. Because there was like teenagers with pictures of their parents that they'd managed to photocopy somehow, and they were pinning them on lampposts saying, "Is anyone seeing this person? Is anyone seeing that person?" And it was just awful, so awful. And you kind of feel like, what can we do? Like what in all of this? And the interesting thing was that all the people that are like involved in church organizations and charities and stuff, they were all like getting, dog collars, like vicars wear these white things. So they were putting them on and just running into the middle of where all the people were. I guess of like beacons of hope, or like, hey, if you need, I'm here. I don't know what to do, but I'm here. And it was almost like, that's where the church should be. Like right in the middle of it, in the middle of the pain, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the brokenness and the dying, like they're there. So we did these prayer socks where people held hands, and it was like 5 of us just standing, just kind of praying, people lighting candles. And then that grew to 10, then 15, then 20, then 30, and then like 100, just people just standing in a massive circle, just like, oh my God, just praying.
Yeah, that's amazing. But like, obviously, it's good that people were there to help be supportive to like just such a horrible event. Yeah. Like,
did you just feel like, oh, I need to go home, or did you feel like you feel fear like that something was gonna happen to you, or were you just kind of like watching it and just, I don't know?
Yeah, all of that. I mean, the practical thing was, it feels a bit not passive, but like just praying is like, okay, well, what else? What can you do? But we gave out water bottles to all the firemen, and we stood there and we talked people down who were standing up on benches and stuff, shouting hate and stuff towards. Really? It's like, just come down, and try to, just normalize stuff and stabilize things. So we were very practical. But my Katie, who's my wife, we were dating at the time, so we'd been dating for like a few months. Yeah. So she was trying to call New York, and she'd heard what happened, and they basically just shut all the phone lines down. So when she called, it said, due to a national disaster, all phone lines are down.
That's so scary.
And that just freaked her out, because she's like, well, I can't contact him. I don't know how to get hold of him. So I think my mum was like,
you were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm literally
she didn't
so
know
many
that.
goosebumps. Yeah.
Oh my God, thank God. That would be so, imagine like,
this is what we're doing today, Mom. Like,
yeah.
Oh, Mom, we're going to the Twin Towers today. Imagine.
Oh, goody. Good, have fun. Like, oh my God, that's so scary.
And it was scary for my mum because people were watching it on the news, and she'd been out shopping, and she came back, and kids had seen it on the TV. So they came running. I lived on this housing estate in the middle of Cumbria. And all the kids from the estate came knocking on the door, and they were like, "Oh, was Paul in them towers? He's in New York, and was he in the towers? Was he in?" And she's like, "What towers? What are you on about?" And she didn't have a clue of what had happened.
Oh my God!
And then was like, "Oh, I need to switch." And then she couldn't get in contact with us because obviously everything was just shut.
I would have a heart attack, literally, like thinking about my boys and stuff like that. Like, see, I was in like 4th grade when it happened, and literally like they shut down school in a sense.
Right.
Like they literally wheeled a TV into every classroom and
Did they?
merged classrooms together, and we watched it all live, which in a sense, like I'm just like, I know it was for the teachers to watch and stuff like that, but as a child, like I was really young. I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
And again, I was so young that I couldn't really comprehend what was going on. We just watched it happen live. And like the whole class, and we were just kind of like, everybody was quiet. Teachers were crying. It was like super intense. Yeah. And then when I came home, luckily my mom didn't really make a big deal about it. Like obviously we talked about it, but she didn't like scare us, where like I know a lot of parents like, or like I've just like read up some stories about people who had been there, or like where they were when it happened, and the kind of repercussions after. And like where some teachers even like were crying so hysterically that it brought fear into the children. Wow, and then you know what I mean, like, so luckily I didn't have that happen, but it was just a crazy event. And then for you to be there as well and have to been in there, oh my god. Yeah.
Totally. We went and visited the children that lived by it, and I always remember this little kid that was just learning to talk, and he just kept saying, building broken, broken. And he'd just seen from his flat window this building get demolished, you know. But they were drawing pictures, and there's like the towers and the planes and stuff. And as a child trying to work out what has just happened, you know, and they're drawing these little cartoon pictures of it and stuff. It's just crazy.